This, ladies and gentlemen, is the feature presentation of the evening.
In boxing, when the championship of the world is at stake, defeat without punishment always creates doubts in the minds of the fans.
So I had very low expectations of myself when I came in to boxing. I had low expectations and everybody else had low expectations for me. I am a fighter, I'm a boxer, and I'm a champion. And now, it's my turn to get one of my girls there. I did my time throwing punches and taking them. I train champions and I make champions. And if my fighters listen to me, they will win. I'm no $1 million baby, and I'm not Layla Ali. Oh wait, I even heard this one. Nobody wants to be in the corner with an old lady. That was my favorite. I'm Terri the Boss Moss, and I just kicked your ass. It's intriguing to them. Special. You know, they love it. I loved it. That's why I fell in love with it. I was like, boxing? Yeah, I want to box. I want to be a famous boxer.
Let those hands go, baby. Come on. More than enough. More than enough. What you got?
We're the real hot chicks doing tough things.
She was a model, she was open for discussion. Didn't catch her name, but it was something in Russian. Had the legs, had the eyes, had the cool. I took a midnight swim in her gene pool. Red, nothing's better than red. Red, nothing's better than red. I want the red, not the blue. I think I love you.
I mean, I've always been kind of adventurous, I guess. You know, it's definitely a certain type of person that's led to boxing, whether male or female. But I was, you know, I was always tough and fighting. I think I was fighting from the time I was a little kid. Actually, I know I was. So naturally, boxing appealed to me. If you can imagine what it's like to be in a boxing match, okay? Let me explain it the first time I did it. That'll tell you what it's like. The first boxing match I had, I fought a brand new crown champion. It's actually a champion that had one of the belts that I later got in my career. But I was real ignorant and I really didn't know how to fight yet. And all I felt was fear. I mean, there were all those people. And it bore my soul because I wasn't afraid when I started. I wasn't afraid to take the fight. I wasn't afraid to train and think I was ready. I wasn't afraid even if I knew that I didn't really know how to fight yet. Everything's about you and your soul and what's really there. You can't depend on the circumstances or how you look. I wasn't afraid that the crowd cheered for her instead of me. What I was afraid of was humiliation. It'd get your butt kicked. If you got a little hole right there, and I've had that happen. Now I have to decide, am I gonna run? Am I gonna quit? Am I gonna let her knock me out? Am I gonna take a knee? Am I gonna walk out of this ring right now? Or am I gonna stand there and fight? And I decided, just don't get knocked out. I knew I couldn't win, but I just decided, just no matter what, fight like it's your life. Just don't give up, don't give up. And after the very first punch, I remember I went out there and bounced up to her. I didn't even know what I was doing. And she threw a jab. It almost knocked me out in the very first 3 seconds of the fight. Got my butt kicked. But I survived. I mean, I survived the fight. I was horrible. It stunk the house out. But my soul was born. I knew that I was a fighter. I'm Terri the Boss Moss.
She's a tough girl.
I think she was like Terri 2 hands of stone or something, and I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine, but...
Well, my daughter picked that ring name for me, the Boss.
It rhymed with our last name, well, her last name, Moss.
She just came up with something, Terri the Boss Moss, and I used it.
We were joking around at the house one day, and I was like, Moss, Boss, you should be Terri the Boss Moss.
That's where it came from. Most trainers spend their whole career waiting for that one that actually can make it.
I want to win the world title. My name is Jackie Breitenstein. As long as I'm still loving it, I'm going all the way. I want to win a title.
I've always prided myself in believing that anybody can be a champion if they believe it about themselves and if they want it bad enough, if they're hungry enough. The problem is keeping people hungry when life happens.
I think there are people that are gifted in this world at being activists and you know, blazing the trails and whatnot. And you know, I don't know if I know I wasn't given that. And again, it's for me. It's my personal mission to show me that I can overcome my own personal demons and be confident and believe and elevate myself to champion. When I'm in the ring, fighting, that is the one place where I feel most alive on every level.
Obviously in boxing, she's a superstar.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Jackie. At first, I would say I thought she was like one of the untouchables, one of the ones you don't talk to when you walk into the gym because you just don't want to bug them or piss them off, and she's not like that at all. She's one of the most wonderful, approachable human beings, and she's so understanding of everyone.
Because she works hard and she, like sometimes she shows me how to do stuff, and like I admire her and she's awesome. I don't know.
And I think she's just empathetic to a lot of different people in a lot of different situations.
Now, when I grew up, I still grew up with my parents and my grandparents saying, sit like a lady.
But her mother is a beautiful, sweet woman who, but she was all about being a girl. She used to tell her, Jackie, sit on your vagina, don't sit on your body. We laugh about that. We sit.
I remember my cousins had boxing gloves and I would want to put them on. They said, no, those are for guys, that's not for girls, girls don't box. And so, you know, when I was young, it was taboo, it was something I couldn't do.
They don't always have the will and the determination to get there. Everyone has, a goal. They want to be famous. Everybody wants to be, Emmanuel Stewart or Freddie Roach. Of course, I do too. That's my number one goal as a trainer, outside of what the meaning of it is, If I look at the big picture, then it's to change lives. If I look at when I have a person in front of me and I say, what is my focus about this person, then that's the person I want to make a champion. It took me a while to learn that not everyone really is a champion. I want to be the first female that becomes a really famous trainer in boxing. That'd be really cool. I want to break that mold. And then a slew of famous trainers can come behind me. I want to be the first woman to be that tier of trainer where everybody knows who I am. And, that's one reason why I want to have a champion. Not just a champion, I want a great champion. If I really set my goal to do it, I'll do it. It's nice when they can make it all the way to that champion, even the highest level of champion, and then walk away and do something incredible even after that. But, it doesn't happen a lot in boxing, so. Champions in any sport mean a lot. In boxing, it's one time. Sometimes it's only one shot. If you can become a champion, you have reached the highest level. But even beyond that, to be able to defend your championship over and over, that means even more. So there's always a higher level to climb. Then there's always a record to break, and there's always something bigger you can do. The belts are great, and of course the belts are everything when you're a fighter, and to be a trainer, that's where my focus has to be. I didn't even know that I had like a championship spirit. I was a winner, but I didn't even know it. But boxing brought that out, just like it did all the other women that I trained, that, especially the ones that fight and they experience that, they're like, it showed me something about myself that I didn't know before. I never knew I was a winner. In fact, most of the time I thought I was a loser, which a lot of them think that, that come in here. 10, 11, 12, 13. Nobody wants to be wimpy. You know, I mean, I think of a lot of what women dealt with in society was, of course, because that's what we were told we had to do. When you look back in time, it's incredible how far we've moved. Most every female that I train, it's the whole badass factor that they love. It's amazing the sacrifices that we make as athletes just to get the opportunity to get out there and compete. You know, we'll fight for free, we'll play for free, we'll train and pay a lot of money, you know, more than the guys just to get the attention of the trainers. It's a shame, but the reason is because we haven't been allowed to do it for very long. I mean, how are we gonna learn? You know, how are we gonna get out there and look good when we have so little experience? But we're gonna get out there and do it anyway. We don't care if it embarrasses us. We don't care if people talk bad about it. We just don't really care. There are no great women prize fighters that people know about. However, there are a few that I particularly admire. There's a fighter named Sylvia Torres. She fought back in the 1930s and 40s. I met her when I went to Miami, Florida, and she was in her 80s then, and she only died a couple years later. I got to meet with her and have a conversation with her and hear about her boxing career. It was incredible. I mean, she had over 100 fights. She was a world champion. She said, when I became world champion, it was the most money I'd ever made in my life. I made $1,500, and this was back, you know, maybe the late 30s or early 40s. She said, I bought a car, I made a down payment on a house, I bought all new clothes. You know, I was a world champion, and men respected it, you know, and she made a lot of money, and she was a real prize fighter. It's incredible to hear her story, because she went against all the garbage back then. I don't care what the men say. Bring a man, I'll fight a man. She told me she didn't care. Oh, I loved her. And then also another woman who I totally admire, Barbara Buttrick.
Well, I think to most people they like to be accepted for what they are, and they hesitate to go up against the what the majority thinks, sort of thing.
And she fought in the strawweight division in the same era as Sylvia Torres.
Oh, the one that was my age, sort of thing.
Sylvia, yes,
Now I've got Sylvia Torres, yes. Well, I was at a fight one day, and suddenly I see this little woman in the corner working with fighters. There were fighters, and I say, who is that?
So I just love that.
I think she came from Cuba, and that she was a boxer, and that she now was training and had her own little stable of fighters.
But Barbara did some extraordinary things. She opened the first ever women's title fight sanctioning body. I have her title. I mean, I think that we have a strong place in the market, and it's just up and coming right now. You know, it's just a matter of time. But there's definitely a phenomenon going on right now. So I'm seeing the progression of the sport, and we have these two ladies to thank.
I think all this talk about girls not boxing is old-fashioned. Girls aren't the delicate flowers they used to be.
Very unpopular at the time. It happens is sometimes becomes very popular after a few years. Things change.
A lot of the fighters that are women, they kind of have central themes, you know. And it's not, I mean, it's not like all women fighters are abused or neglected, but it's maybe with all fighters, actually.
My name is Judith Wilson. I'm Terri Moss's mother. Bless her heart.
There were times where it was just her, by herself as a kid.
No, she never told me why, but she just got real mad about it one time and took off. And I said, okay.
I haven't really had a relationship with my mom, a close one, since I was like 8 years old.
What was Terri like as a child?
A regular, mean little brat. No, just like any normal kid.
Absolutely, her childhood affected her.
I mean, she didn't like to see me getting beat up all the time. She didn't like to see, you know, things like that. And for a long time, she wouldn't even live with me.
Yeah, I was 10 when I left home.
I was here for the kids, but I wasn't the greatest of mothers.
At one point, I was just asking myself, you know, saying, you know, why is she, you know, always hated me so much? That's what I said to myself.
She never knew her father.
I mean, the only reason I know her name is because it's on my birth certificate. It's never been a conversation that we've ever talked about.
I don't know whether she wanted to know him or not. I told her he was never around for her. He was never around for me. And that was pretty much the story.
I mean, my mom, you know, she's got a lot of, the way she remembers things isn't always the way everyone else might remember them.
All three of my kids have different dads.
Yeah, we got in fights up until I was like 30. Yeah, fights. I mean, that's about when I realized, you know, this could be, you know, something I need to deal with. It took me a while.
I feel like a lot of her life has been spent just running away from what that was and making sure that nobody ever knew what was there.
But I never talked about any of that in my life. I never talked about any of the bad things in my life. I never talked to anyone about it. I don't talk to people I know about it, even now, so.
So, I mean, it was just me making bad choices.
I mean, there's still so much that I know that is not okay, but even what I know is just a tip of the iceberg for what really happened.
And I really wanted to try to bring everything together. I tried, but it didn't work.
You know, my mother was a fighter. If you want to know where my fighter came from, I can honestly say my mother was a fighter. I mean, she'd fight anybody, everybody. Me, you, anybody. Men, women, gun, knife. Didn't matter what it was. My mother would fight. She would fight.
Did you hate your father?
No. We had a complicated relationship. When there was a period of time when I was about 12, when I hated him. But as I matured and I learned more about what was going on, it wasn't hate. I hated some of the things that happened.
I know Fred. I know that I can come off like that, and I know, that's why I said I know I'm different. I know I have that personality that people probably want to show that's tough, you know, hard. I know I'm an asshole sometimes.
Running around this everlasting version of what we see ourselves as. You said I've only got one me, and that's the thing that bugs you.
My mom and romance, I don't really put those two together.
I would love to see her get into a relationship where she was happy. But because she's had so many unhappy things happen, she really backs away from it.
You know, I want her to be 75, sitting on a front porch rocking next to somebody too.
But I learned I was a winner, and now I know that I can win in anything that I want to do. Anything. I'm not afraid of anything.
And like I say, she puts everything she has into her work.
Membership is a trainer. And so how much is the membership is per boxing unit?
That kid said that, or the other guy?
The kid.
Okay, either one of them, I need to slap them. But again, like I've said before, with women, it's always something we're trying to prove to ourselves. With guys, they want to prove to the world that they're somebody. We want to prove to ourselves that we're somebody. I mean, the world would be great too, actually. But I got to prove to me first, and then the world.
You understand? You're gonna have to cover. You have no defense whatsoever. She's just covering up and throwing a punch. She stole the whole round. You're gonna have to do something, okay? Listen to me. You can do it. Put your hands up and then throw some bombs. And put your hands up and then throw some bombs. But you can't just walk into all those punches. You hear me? You're gonna have to use strategy.
You go to a boxing gym and not even speak the same language, and you can still train somebody.
I don't know, I think a lot of men look at female boxers like they're ingrate.
We can't convince men to do things, you know, by rational behavior or rational conversation, especially when it comes to something that they don't understand.
Layla Ali is about the first one that anybody respected, and that was only because she was an Ollie, and you know, she wasn't really that good a boxer.
Think Terri was better?
Yeah, I really did. I thought she was much better.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna start the bell over real quick.
You know, there's no challenge that I wouldn't stand up to. If I get my heart set on it, and I feel like it's for the right cause, and I feel like it's a good thing, I don't care what it is. Just not afraid.
It's nice that everybody has an opportunity to do what it is they want to do. Because it's hard for somebody to hear, well, it's all right for him to do it, but it's not all right for you to do it. Every field of endeavor, I think, should be open to everybody.
There's a change that never goes back. There's a bridge that's crossed. You know, you're never gonna be anything other than a fighter. Once you're a fighter, you're always a fighter.
One of the things that's really close to my heart is just empowering these women to believe that they can get in there and do this. They're allowed to be whatever they want to be. Whether I'm training them to fight or not, I want them to have a life-changing experience.
When you're looking at a woman fighter in the ring, I mean, she fights just like a man.
Here we go, round two.
The coaches say if you ask a woman to do something during training, she does it. If you ask a guy to do something, he kind of has his own idea of what he wants to do.
You can tell that they really did prepare. They took it really seriously.
One of the things that I love about women boxers is their dedication.
It's the love of the sport, actually. You know, the part about proving yourself is really not as important as people loving the sport as much.
I think they're a plus for the sport.
Women's boxing is starting to have its own culture. I mean, we are different. It just affects you in a way that's really, really positive and makes you feel confident for years to come. But the woman thing is that public vision of what we should be, what we should fit into. We're supposed to go to school and be smart and be cute and get married and have babies and maybe work out at the gym, you know, and stay climbing. We're not supposed to be boxers. I think men are afraid. They definitely don't want this sport to belong to women. This is our house. This is the what do you call it, the man cave, you know? This is boxing. This is, I can't even tell you how many times I've heard, this is a man's sport, it's about men. Women don't even want to train with women, you know. I've heard it all. It's frustrating to me. But the thing is, I think they're afraid.
And I think this is what has kept her away from males very much, is the fact that, you know, they kind of resent her.
You're gonna get a boom, boom.
Unfortunately, the guys have taken their opportunity for granted. And because the women haven't had as many opportunities and still don't, and we know that the world is watching, and we know there are stereotypes thinking we're gonna, you know, hit like sissies, and you know, and so it's almost like we want to show them, hey man, look, we can fight. Boxing, I think, is almost like that last frontier of sorts, where women have the permission to be.
We don't have to give up our femininity to be a fighter, you know. We can be fighters and be feminine and wear lipstick in the ring, and we can do anything we want.
I think she misses the action because she's not as active as she used to be. Training the girls, she stays fairly active, but she's on this side of the mitts instead of on the other side punching them.
I stopped listening to the daily news. It was cluttering up my mind and getting me confused. I stopped reading those books on the top shelf. It's time to take the time to think for myself. I noticed the waitress at the drugstore. She had lost quite a bit of weight.
You know what is really interesting is that I never thought I was a feminist. I never thought I was like pro-women, you know, women empowerment. I was a cop and I knew other female cops that were like that. They were all about the woman thing. I was like, you're boring me to death, you know, just get in there and do your thing and who cares. I mean, I just never really thought much about that. But then when I got in the gym, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just experienced enough prejudice and lack of opportunity, and it was really bad, worse than when I was a woman cop. I guess then people probably felt it, but they couldn't say it because they're afraid they'd get in trouble, you know. So because of all the lawsuit kind of thing and all that, when you're talking about the workplace, but in the gym, man, it's like free sexism. In the gym, you can say whatever, you can be as sexist as you want. I mean, it runs rampage in the boxing gym.
What frustrates you the most about men?
I don't know, really.
Like, I just want to be a boxer.
I think that boxing's portrayed primarily the way it's been shown in the movies. You know, it's some rough guy that is uneducated, maybe poor, and he's trying to fight his way into a better life. But that's really not women fighters. Primarily, women fighters are college educated. They have careers. Some of them have families, a lot of them. You know, we're not fighting for the same reasons that they fight. You know, we're not men. Men fight for the glory. You know, we fight to prove something to ourselves.
Kelsey, look, you're going to beat her, but she's trying to get a little... Her corner's going to tell her to box and counter and keep their range. That means you're going to have to move your head coming in now. Don't run straight in. Keep those hands up. You're going to win with pressure, but you got to move your head and get in there, okay?
Women's boxing, it's another... Honestly, it's another sport. There's nothing that a man can do that a woman can't do just as well.
It's a pretty challenging technical skill to kind of gain, so you're in the middle of trying to master something that's not all that easy.
I mean, being a prize fighter, you are an entertainer.
Looks don't matter at all. On the other hand, I realize that they do.
I mean, if you want to be a great fighter, you have to be willing to put things out there in front of the world, you know, so that people support you. I mean, it doesn't feel good to me to have to you know, make somebody, you know, dress differently and walk differently and talk differently and behave and talk to that person you don't want to talk to. And, you know, it's not easy for me to be that person. So to make somebody do that, but it's part of my job as a trainer. I got to make you presentable to the public, and I got to make them love you. And that's my job.
I mean, she's respectful. You know, it's not like she wants me to turn me into a hoe, which is what I kind of thought at the very beginning. But
I kind of used to shrug my shoulders and accept the fact that I wasn't accepted, sort of thing, at the time. And you just have to go with what you believe and stand up for that, you know.
Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch gloves, go to your corner, come out, fight!
Terri was a professional fighter, so, you know, maybe, you know, a few knocks to the head, though. I've seen her spar occasionally here and there, and it's just kind of like, she's like Jackie on, like, speed, because, I mean, Jackie's fast, but Terri's like, you know, Flash Gordon with a vagina, like, flashing around. You're probably gonna have to cut that out, but anyway.
Why are y'all laughing? They're laughing because I'm leaving you a long message, Fred. So anyway, I guess I need to hang up.
You know, she just kind of crosses those lines. You know, she'll color outside the lines a lot of times.
Like here? Yeah. But it's what makes me who I am. I'm sweet and confrontational, though.
But she's not a normal person.
Oh, I don't know what else I want to show you.
The bed?
Yeah. Don't look, because I spilled tea on it. I do that a lot, actually. But under the bed is my piece. This is important. This should be unboxing chicks. Yep, we have to use that sometime. Before boxing, I was a cop. Super cop. I mean, I kicked in doors and bought drugs undercover and flew in helicopters and carried big guns. It's pretty fun. Kind of like boxing.
You know, she was a good police officer, but she got tired of it.
She jokes a lot, but, you know, everything's fair game.
One thing I have always appreciated about Terri, too, up front, like, straight out, here it is, you know, no bullshit, no line, you know.
I kind of sit back here and just watch.
So maybe it's just we get to existentialism. It's her in another plane.
What's that?
I can't pronounce it, but it means diversity. She will say the most random things.
What's up my crotch, Fred? It's good?
But it's like only Terri can say those things. When Terri says it, it's hilarious.
It's the longest ever set on my vagina. See?
How's this friend? My good side?
Of course it is.
I'm Terry, the boss moss.
We all have a couple screws loose.
Oh, we're going to be doing this at Buckhead Fight Club. Here's a better view of me.
I wouldn't care about my looks if I wasn't trying to eventually have a date.
Oh, I just need some Botox.
I don't remember who said it. Well-behaved women rarely make history. You know, I can't hear that phrase without thinking of Terri.
As a trainer, she gets all kinds of people who come in and want training. Some of them want to be pro fighters. Some of them want to learn how to fight, but they don't want to compete. You know, some people never ever want to get hit, but they might want to hit somebody. She gets people with, you know, a million different goals. They all have a different reason for being there. And so she needs to key into what do they want.
There's not one thing that's great about Terri. Everything's great about Terri.
She likes things to be an up.
Stay on her. Just let those hands go, baby. Come on. More than enough. More than enough.
I got a bad man, but I know too good that there's hell to pay, and he knows he should.
Friday at 4:30 will be the weigh-in, either 4 or 4:30. I would say 4 just to be safe. And then we'll probably go right from there into the boxing arena. That's a lot of time to eat, maybe something. I'm not sure, though, because it's really screwed up to do the weigh-in and the fight the same day. But
She's quick when she wants to be, and she's very determined, and she's really dedicated, and she's really loyal. And there's so many attributes about Jackie that are important for a fighter. The biggest problem she has is her own ability to be strong in the ring.
Yeah, she's amazing.
If she could see what I see, then she would be a different fighter all the way around. The girl's gonna test her, but she knows that. But as long as she doesn't quit, she should outlast the girl. She should outperform the girl. You know, she should win the fight.
Because I fought her last, and I fought her recently, and it's going to be a great side-by-side comparison for me to take stuff I've been working on and put it directly back on her. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
She hits so hard, but she's so quick, and that combination is difficult to kind of get.
I mean, training so hard for this fight, and you know, Terri she's a genius when it comes to knowing when to push, how hard to push, when to take off, what to do. And so, you know, really trusting that and just listening to her. But as far as the mindset, it's that trust is key, and it's the focus is the key.
You get in there, and there's all the excitement of training and getting ready, and you get in the corner of the ring, and all of a sudden there's somebody in the other corner and there's nobody else there, and you realize now you've got to stand up and do what you said you could and beat that person. And so you have to have the determination to get in there and do it.
One of the things that we've had trouble with is she's real good at masking her real feelings and believing to herself that she's focused when she's not. I mean, I believe in Jackie, of course. Her skill and her conditioning and her athletic ability is far more than her focus and her belief in her ability to win. She's capable. I mean, she's definitely prepared, and she's definitely able. You know, she's a much better fighter. This girl's not even in her league as an athlete or as a fighter. So
when you are that role, when you are the pro boxer, you need to project yourself as a star.
All things given, Jackie should win this fight easily.
It's all tough.
Her body is shaped, you know, she's got these. She's always kind of wide hips that center her to the ground, and it makes her have a little trouble.
It's all about being a champ. It's all about all the stuff.
With some of her
She's that great.
But she's actually pretty fast on her feet too.
So I'm in here.
But
Jackie's
she's
got
really
the
strong.
determination.
She gets all her power from the ground.
She's going to come with a vengeance, and that's what we would hope and expect from our opponents. I mean, you don't want someone that's going to come and be like, you beat me again. You know, we want to fight, and that's respectable. And so she's been training hard, and she's coming in with a vengeance. I am too.
We collect our memories like dust on those old photos. I miss the way you used to be. Tell me, does it show? Does it show? It shows.
He got sick. He actually went into the hospital Christmas Day and was struggling with various issues in that hospital Christmas Day, and steadily worsened and ended up going into hospice care March 2nd.
I rode up to Tennessee with Lisa the day of. So we came up, we checked into our hotel and all that, and then we went to the venue.
And he died on March 8th.
We didn't know anything about her father passing that morning or, in the middle of the night.
When I hated him, it wasn't hate. I hated some of the things that happened. I was, in the end, I look back and I was disappointed in him. I was baffled by him. I was confused by him. I was frustrated by him, at times fearful of him. The threat is not coming from the girl across the ring, it's from myself, and so that's really what we focus on a lot, most of the time. Overall, it would definitely be just believing in myself. Terry's been telling me for a while that I have the skill that I need. It's a matter of believing that I have the skill, and so that's where we really work on the mental game.
I'm gonna try to use it in the ring to encourage her.
A real fighter has to deal with, family issues.
The main thing is the determination. You're determined on what you're doing, and whatever happens in your life otherwise, you have to be able to put it to one side when you're fighting, because you can't have your mind on anything else.
Having the support from the gym and having those interactions, that fuels me. That's good pressure. That's pressure I need more than any pressure I ever put on myself. I think everyone is their most powerful when they're totally themselves. Not trying to be powerful like someone else, not trying to be powerful like them, not trying to be successful like them. But when people are completely themselves and know themselves, and that's when they can propel themselves forward. That's when we're the most powerful.
So your power is in being you.
Absolutely.
In spite of anything.
Absolutely.
You gonna stick to that?
Absolutely.
This is very touchy, though. This isn't something a normal person would probably cancel the fight,
I want you to keep the punches up. Everybody knows where the belt line is, okay? It would behoove a lot of you to keep your trunks up. I know the style is to sag or whatever, but it could be detrimental to you.
Anyway, thank you all for being here, and good luck to everybody.
All right, well, everybody ready to go?
134 even.
I think it's better that she is fighting, But maybe not. You need to go in there and be fierce. You need to be mean. Not just sportsmanlike, you need to be mean. She is upset, though. She's not trying to let it out, but I told her just hold it for the ring.
I'm a force of nature. I come full-heartedly. These are my dreams I'm living. Please let me be. Oh, a dreamer. Yeah, believer. Dream your dreams and never
Yes. I've had her back for years. I will continue to have her back.
As a fighter, you know, her determination is what will get her through the fight and get her to win. Hold on, Fred, I gotta take a minute. I mean, if you ask a psychologist, they might say, you know, there's something in you that feels like you need to make up for something. I don't know.
She's gonna win?
Yeah, she should win, yeah. I mean, this father's thing is throwing a little loop in it, but Jackie should win. When you get that close to the fight, you kind of start to go numb. I see things that should give Jackie more edge. The only thing that's really thrown off that edge a little bit is Jackie's father passing, so as long as she can focus.
It's in the person's, you know, own nature, how they handle.
So it makes me more nervous being the trainer and plus I can't control what happens in there.
It's not an act, you know, to say, don't let them know that you're tired. Don't let them know you're afraid. Don't let them know you're concerned. Don't let them know that you're nervous. You know, I mean, those are some of the things that a champion would always keep inside when it comes to their opponent. But it's something their trainer's already going to know.
The pressure I put on myself is it is my biggest fight.
When you train somebody, you're always over them. She can never look at me as an equal because she's my fighter. You know, once she retires, she can, you know, tell me where to put it. Anyway, I can read, you know, into the soul of the women and see what they need, and I want to be there for them. She's a good fighter. She's a really good fighter. She'll be a world champion. If Jackie could perform up to the ability that I know that she has without putting the brakes on because of her own doubt, she would be in the top 10 of all the women fighters in the world in her weight class. I mean, she would be fighting top contenders. She could totally get in there and go rounds with them and win.
No need to run from her. She's not being overly aggressive, just like before. She's already a little tired. She's not going to last. You're going to last, okay? But I need you to keep your feet on the ground and keep your balance and calm down.
You know, you got to be able to believe solidly in yourself and in what you're doing, and that takes really people that love you and encourage you and believe in you and make you feel good about yourself. But to have people that beat you down and make you feel like a loser, and you think they're a loser, and you say that anger is going to motivate me to do something great. I mean, it'll motivate you to get busy, but it's not going to be the element that takes you over the edge to win, because in the end, that's going to hold on to, it's like you're climbing, it's holding onto your foot, and you can't get over the wall, it's baggage. And the win is going to be when you look over on the other side and you see how much more love there is over there, you know, and you can leave that behind.
I need you to slip and throw an uppercut right up the middle, okay? Or slip and throw the hook. Yes, sir. Or slip and throw the hook. Just get in there and do it, but don't wait. Don't let her come on you. Clap her on the outside. You can knock her out this round. She's ready to go. She's going to come out hard the first 10 seconds. You be jabbing and moving. She's going to come out hard the first 10 seconds, right? Jabbing and moving. Last round, baby, okay?
Accepting help myself. I've never been good at that. I was fighting the good fight, always, even before boxing. Jackie's one of the strongest fighters I've ever worked with. In fact, when I work with men, holding the pads, she hurts me. They don't. There's a big difference in her strength. Even as a fighter, whether she's a woman or a man, she's stronger than most of the guys I know. Early in my boxing career, I just always focused on the men because that's really all there was. You can't say there were great women boxers yet. We haven't had a chance to be great women boxers yet. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing we all have in common is we want to conquer something in us. You know, that's one thing Jackie has definitely in common with me. Those fighters that went against the odds that were great fighters, of course. You know, I wouldn't say that about somebody that totally failed and then quit. That's the one thing I can't tolerate. I just can't tolerate a quitter. I never quit anything in my life. You know, I can't quit.
She gave the other girl a handful to deal with.
Judge Hogan scores the fight 60-54. Judge Hudson scores the fight 60-54. Your winner by unanimous decision from Decatur, Alabama, Jackie.
Jackie's a beautiful human being. She's got a lot of challenges.
When they announced the decision, because I had been holding everything in, and I was just, all of a sudden it's like everything, it's like topped off, and I was like, all right, I got to get out of here. I think it changed. I don't know if it changed. I mean, would I say it didn't change me as a person? I don't think anyone can go through the loss of a parent that doesn't change them as a person.
Terri gets involved with her girls, and they're her girls. That's it. They're her girls.
Where'd you get that shirt?
Boxing, I could come up with 1,000 metaphors of boxing, you know, for life. And, you know, there are just so many similarities in the struggles, you know, the greatness, the thrill, the excitement, the fun, the laughter, and then also the agony.
That was the first fight I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing.
So I went back to the dressing room, and I don't think at that point anyone had known about my father. And so she didn't know at that point, I don't think anyone, but because, you know, when I got into the dressing room, I broke down. One of the gentlemen that was helping her in her corner, he had seen me, it was very sweet, but he saw that I was crying, and he said, well, you won, like, why are you upset? And I told him, and I think he ended up telling going and telling her, and so she came back in the room afterwards and just offered her condolences and congratulated me again. And I mean, that just speaks volumes for her character. I mean, we need more people like that, not only in boxing but in this world. I mean, that's having that character, and it was just it was very cool.
As Prissy saying, your straight shots, the ones down the middle are the ones that work the best. Man, they are. Those right up there, bang.
Yeah. You were hurting her.
Your jab is your strongest.
Yes.
And
I did try the hook. You know how much I love throwing
that time you slipped in through the hook, like I told you, when you feinted and threw the hook, you cracked her with it. Every time you did what I told you, it worked, didn't it, Rhonda?
Yep. But I think even for people that are offering me the support, which has meant a lot, they're getting a little peek into, they're not even really sure what to say. Like, do I give you my condolences? Do I give you my congratulations?
And you heard me. And
this is what I had to do because I couldn't figure shit out of my own.
Yeah, that was better. That was better. That's what you should do all the time. You never have to,
You know, it's like this was a fight she had to win. You know,
she had to win this one. Yeah, for more reasons than one.
I felt the biggest changes I experienced were probably in general the relationship that I had with Terri, and also I gained a little more trust in myself and confidence in myself, and was reminded of my strength to be able to push through some difficult times.
You just gotta let me in there with you. I can help you, right? Because I see things you can't see. Yeah. Listen, I'm really, really proud of you. Okay. I love you. You feeling better?
Yeah,
but you know,
I fell apart. I was trying to wait.
No, I'm glad you did. Now you have to fall apart. It's good. Now you can just fall apart, and we'll be here for you. I don't like having to hide something like that. It's too hard. Yeah. Okay.
To be a woman fighter and to be a champion is heavy. But the worst thing about it is when you're disregarded.
And, you know, I said, all right, so I know that you can't really know a man's heart. Only God really knows someone's heart. But from my conversations with him and from praying with him, he believed, and he had a lot that he wanted to be prayed for, and it was almost in a sense that he got to that point where he didn't say, I'm sorry, he didn't say I messed up, he didn't say forgive me, but he might as well have. And it was just interesting to hear that. Quite special to hear that. Because in a sense, something I'd wanted to hear for years, decades.
Well, I always pray because of my own faults, you know. I have so many of them. And of course, you know, I pray to be forgiven and to be stronger, to be a better person and do what I'm supposed to do. All that stuff. We call the boxing ring the moment. We call it the truth. The ring is the truth because no matter what is in your soul, in your subconscious, no matter what you think it might be, no matter what you try to display it as soon as you get in that ring, the truth is going to be bare.
I'm sorry, I wasn't even expecting to cry on that, but
she knows that I'm with her and I want her to win above all things.
It's what you do with the losses and the wins that make you a champion.
I would like to be a lot closer to Terri. Oh yeah, she's always giving. She'll do anything in the world for somebody. And she has a very large heart. And she's very, very careful with it.
On the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Buckhead Fight Club. Come on in, everyone. Go ahead.
Some things happened, like I said, during this that just kind of renewed my faith, that made me realize I'm not in this alone, and that's mostly what I've been praying for, you know. Just let me sustain this, because it's not really about me and having my own gym and building a name for myself. You know, I have these girls that mean a lot to me that you know, as they come and go, they need this in their lives. You know, even Jackie, I mean, she needs this, and Kelsey needs it, and I mean, and more than that. You know, I've some that come a little while and they leave, and they need this. I needed it. When I came into boxing, I needed it more than anything, you know. And I want to be that place for these, especially the women. Yeah, the guys, I mean, I like them too, but not as much. But still, I mean, they're nice and everything, but, you know.
So you're going to continue to move forward with Terri?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's a sweetie. That's all I can say.
If anything, I can move forward more strongly with Terri.
Do you know what Terri's nickname is? The Boss.
Oh, yeah?
They call her Terri the Boss Moss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the boss in our gym. You tell people what to do, huh?
Yeah. I mean, champions are great. They mean a lot. But if you know, at the end of the day, when you're laying on your deathbed, you're going to be great that you're a champion, but you're probably going to be thinking about your family. You're probably going to be thinking about what you experienced in life and what you did in life and what you meant to other people. You know, so, I mean, the champion thing is, of course, huge. But there is a bigger picture.
Okay, I know what she wants. She really wants us to be proud of her. More than anything, why are we going to have an Oprah moment on here? I'm going to cry.
The interesting thing is my daughter now is everything to her kids that I ever wanted to be to her.
And she wants people know that she fought as hard as she could.
If I was gone tomorrow, how would the world see me when I was gone? You know, that means more than just, you know, what you can do.
It's funny because she'll tell you she wants like financial stability. I mean, her two like scarlet letters are, well, it's just one. It's M, money and men. Those have been the two hardest things that she's dealt with in her life. But as far as like direct opposition, things that affect the heart regarding no other people but herself. But when it comes down to it, she wants us to be proud of her. And the problem is that no matter what we say, no matter how much we tell her we are, until she feels like she's proven it herself, it's not gonna be enough.
Terri's life is so much boxing. It's boxing in the gym. It's boxing out of the gym. Her home is the gym. Her friends are the gym. Her friends are her clients.
We can call this a boxing.
boxing exercise is this one?
I'll fight to the death. I don't care. Tell me when so I can say cheese. Thanks, Freddie. Need a sweater. My boobies.
She didn't have many opportunities to enjoy life in addition to boxing, not in place of, because nothing could ever replace it.
Good, Freddie? Babe, I got you, babe. Come on.
Can't be perfect all the time, just 99%.
Whenever she's talking about anything, it's usually boxing.
I think Terri Moss is a superwoman. She's my hero, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
You should see her around her grandbabies. She's okay. Yeah, I'm coming. No, she gives more than anything else.
But even outside of me, and our kids and my husband, like, God is proud of her. And I know that sounds so trivial to some people, but knowing like her heart and knowing that like when this whole thing is over, when it is the last day of everything that she's, experienced here on earth, and when she dies and goes to heaven, God is going to say, you did what I needed you to do, and you changed people's lives, and you affected people, and you loved them, and you loved people that nobody else wanted to touch.
That's good training, yo. That's what you need. I loved it. That's why I fell in love with it. I was like, boxing? Yeah, I want to box.
I just think it all sums up to just feeling like she did enough. And I don't think she's going to ever be fulfilled or feel like she's done it until she's proven it to herself that she can do all of it.
No matter what, if I want to remain to be a champion, if I don't want to be forgotten, then I got to keep moving forward.
If she wants to do anything at all, she will. Time out again. Here she comes.
Half minute more in round number 4.
Here in round 14, Johnson rushes in, lands an uppercut, 3 left hooks, a tremendous barrage of punches.
At this point, we're going over to look into Cash's plays corner.
Step beside the Coliseum, they're staring down like it's an honor to see them. Late nights before bright lights, I had to take flight to reach new heights. This is your destiny, so never let them. The odds in your favor, they don't know they're bad. I went left, should've hit right. Many lost fights, but never lost sight. This is our destiny, never reveal less of me. Staring in the mirror, it's getting clearer that it's you and me. This is our reign, I play the game. Whether y'all fail, learn to maintain. Deal with the pain, know when to blame. Make them remember the name. In your zone, now you feeling weightless. We all strive, but you've aimed for greatness. The history's proving that you can take this. Screaming no boundaries, it's found in me. Not randomly, but family motivated me to the point that can't nobody handle me. Vision's clear, mindset, with no fear. I've let no one down. Smile when they frown. Graze the ground and found that I never stay down.
I got men bowing down to me. I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the big boss. I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the big boss. Getting money every day of the week. I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the big boss. I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the big boss. I'm the big boss, big boss. I'm the big boss, big boss. I'm the big boss, big boss, boss. No pain, no game. I'm gonna keep coming till you knock me out. Fist high to the sky. I intimidate by no guy. Cause I'm the type of lady who can do my hair on Friday. Party hard up until Sunday and be back to work on Monday. Oh, shout out to all my ladies like this who working hard up in the business. INDEPENDE.